Oh man, oh man. I'm not gonna go long-winded like normal. I'm gonna try to hone these videos down. I'm gonna make this real quick and then I'm gonna get off. But I'm watching all this stuff going down. I'm watching this shit from Canada, from Justin Trudeau, and they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. You know, I really could give a shit what some stupid Canadian has to say. As a matter of fact, you know, back in the early 90s when they started pushing NAFTA, I always thought that it was the worst idea ever. I really did, because and all you have to do, and the thing about it is, you know, I'm at this age where, like, a lot of these young folk out there, they got all these ideas about how to make things better, and they haven't even fucking lived long enough to know shit. As a matter of fact, most of their ideas are coming from some academic, right? And I use that word very loosely, because you have these people in academia who basically are peddling failed ideas that can never succeed to these young people, and they have no idea. But back to NAFTA, like back when NAFTA first came out, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that it was the worst thing you could do, because I understood, like, here's how capitalism works. If you incentivize a business owner to relocate his business but still have the same market, right? So in America, when they open up NAFTA, all of a sudden, all these American companies that swore that they wouldn't do it, but were secretly lobbying behind the scenes to push for NAFTA so that they could go into places which were what? Financially, there's all kinds of words you can fill in the blanks, but basically the bastards were going broke. And so we gave them an influx in business. They were going broke. So NAFTA was the best thing that ever happened for them, because all of these companies and corporations relocated. The same thing happened when they opened up China. When they started allowing Americans to invest in China, you have all these American businesses that have no problem being partners with the Communist Party, because they enrich themselves by selling things here freely from countries that reject our items openly. So, like, all these people in America are going, yeah, man, this is terrible, this is messed up. You know what's messed up? It's when we relocate factories into your country like Canada, and at the same time that we open up business where your people were going fucking broke. You didn't have shit. Right now, you still don't have shit. You're living off of the fucking fumes that we fart. It's like running out of gas, but you got enough fumes in the tank that it sucks a couple more centimeters out of the road. And so you have these Canadians, we give them this influx, like all of a sudden we've got cars not being built in like Michigan. No, they moved those factories across the border into Canada, so that now we're buying cars manufactured in Canada that used to be manufactured in America. So Canadians had jobs and Americans lost jobs. You see how that works? Now, back in the 90s, when it first was introduced and I was complaining about it, everyone's like, what do you fucking do? You're not big. No, I got a brain, though. As a matter of fact, I remember I was in the classes that you weren't in, because you were in the special class where there was only about 5 students in there. Today, it's the whole school. So these countries, we give them business and then they reject our goods. So in Canada, they won't buy stuff from us. There's certain things they just don't buy. Same thing with all these other countries in Europe and across the globe, that all of a sudden they're starting to go, oh, we'll tariff you back. Who gives a shit? You don't take our stuff. So how is you tariffing our items that you don't buy going to affect us, you bunch of fucking assholes? And the same thing goes for all you Americans out there that are like, oh my God, yeah, what the fuck's China gonna do? All that shit they got stockpiled over there, they built for all you fucking mindless consumers that buy a bunch of Chinese fucking junk. They don't make anything that's good for anything except saving a couple dollars today that you're going to spend tomorrow, because that's where we've come. We've gone all the way around full circle to where you'll spend a pittance today. You're chasing pennies with dollar bills, and you're arguing about it. We just watched last night these sons of bitches from the Democrat Party. You know what they are fighting against? Making America great again. But that's not making America great again. You know what it really means? Making America self-aware again. All of a sudden, we have the things that we buy, the quality has declined. Because the people outside of this country, they don't give a shit about the quality. They only care about your money. And so the more money that you spend, the more money that they make. And so we introduced some tariffs because we buy everything. Every single economy around the world, whether you people realize it or not, because many of you people complain and don't have jobs, you only suck the life out of this country. But for the people that go out and generate work and then go out and spend your money, we keep the world alive. China wouldn't even be a pimple on America's ass if we hadn't opened up trade with China, you bunch of fucking assholes. We're the #1 consumer of the shit that they make, and it's ridiculous. But you want to get mad because we're putting out some tariffs. So what? Canada says, oh, well, we're not going to buy any more bourbon. And a couple of weeks ago, they were talking about their Canadian whiskeys doing so well. Well, why don't we buy VO here anymore? Why don't you see Seagram's is the #1 whiskey of choice? Because your shit sucks, just like you, Trudeau, suck. Canadians. Hey, man, I got guys I know from Canada. God bless you, but he didn't bless you because you were born Canadian. That in itself is a curse. That's like being born a man to a liberal woman in the freaking this decade, because they're going to use you like a little Mrs. Potato Head and start chopping off parts so that they can have fun with the baby. They're not parents. They treat their children like pets and toys and shit. And that's what the Democrats are fighting for. And you guys get caught up in the dumb shit because I'm sorry, man, but this shit fucking freaks me the fuck out. I'm getting old. Pretty soon, man, I'll tell you what, I will walk off in the woods and sit down and starve to death like an Indian under a tree before I would depend on this current generation to take care of me in my dementia. The faster that shit hits, the more I forget, the better it is, because some of these sons of bitches are just so damn stupid. Canada. I watched Trudeau talking, and literally the guy looked like an animatron. I mean, he looked wax. He looked fake as fuck. Jesus Christ, man. Ooh. I thought a few weeks ago he had resigned. Why is he even still talking? Shut that son of a bitch up, that illegitimate child of fucking Fidel Castro or whatever. Yeah, he could be a son of Mick Jagger. Well, actually, Mick said that of all the skanky ass women that used to follow around the Rolling Stones, that Justin Trudeau's mom was too skanky for even Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger wouldn't even fuck Justin Trudeau's mom. Here's my blood pressure medication, pussy. Coffee, 100%. And it's Colombian. I love my Colombian coffee. But if it means America doing better or America doing worse, I'll climb a mountain, I'll fucking blow Juan Valdez's head off, and then I'll eat his donkey. Anyway, I'm going to get off. I could go on forever with this dumb shit. These people that swear they're the enlightened ones, the Illuminati. Motherfuckers, man. Jesus Christ. They have their heads so far up their own ass that when they see sunlight coming through the sphincter when they fart, they think they had a good idea. It's ridiculous. It is. And anybody, you come in here talking shit in the comments. I'm not reading them really. I catch a couple things here and there, but I don't give a shit what you say. Listen, you roll in and don't like it, but you have to stay and say something because it's a part of your weak character. I roll in the video, someone saying shit I don't like. I don't have to go, oh, you're gay. You got pink hair and you're dressed like a girl, but you have a beard, you dumbass. No, I don't. I go, whoa. Oh, shit, you got to watch this random dial-up shit here, boy, because you might see something you never wanted to see. And these people, they think just because people are sitting out there looking at this little monkey trap, interested in making fun of you. They're not your friends. They're not your, what do they call them, allies? Hell, half the time they're posting your videos to make fun of you. Listen, you know what, Kara? I got no problem with gay people. Yes, I said it because to me, when people come out and say, I'm lesbian, and he goes, I'm bi, or I'm gay, or I'm non-binary, I'm trans, I'm this. Listen, all it is one thing. See, that's the liberal mindset. If they figure, if they can get more descriptions, more words, quantity of words is most important to them, not quality or content. So all of a sudden, homosexual becomes gay, lesbian, bi, because hey, the women got to have their own way to describe being gay, so they come up with lesbian, all the way back in Lesbos. And where's Lesbos? Oh, that's the Greek place. Well, why did the women start getting with women? Because the men were playing with the little boys. We got to have our own movement. Listen, at least when a woman's messing with another woman, she's not messing with a partial bowel movement, you disgusting bastards. I'm sorry. But there's a reason. Listen, their philosophy was the top. Everyone built their society. Alexander the Great, Greek philosophers had educated him. He went and he spread his knowledge and his power and understanding of the way humans think. Came from Greek philosophy. Why do you think he was so successful? He knew how to blend into all the places he conquered, and he didn't make them feel like less than. He made them feel included, and that's what America's about. But see, in order for Democrats to get you on their side, they got to make you feel less than, and then they're going to tell you how they're going to be the ones to make you more than. So first they have to make you less, and then they make you more, because they, unlike, just like those people in the past, know how to fuck with your head. You join up with people that aren't fit to join up with you. You're better than them, and yet you feel better by including yourself with people that are just basically giving away the whole... It's better if you don't open your mouth, then everybody thinks you're stupid, than to prove it by saying something stupid. And now I paraphrase that because if you want to have understanding, if you want to claim erudition, and that's a word you can look up, all you college-educated assholes, because that's how you accumulate knowledge, and then you show your accumulated knowledge by actually being able to talk intelligently about it. That's why they would say a learned man is erudite, but you could have a degree, and it doesn't mean you're learned if your dumbass is dumber than a dog turd. But they got, in order for that philosophy and for society to succeed, certain degenerate behaviors had to be excluded. And so it happened time and time again. And every time you have a society that falls back into degeneration, then what happens? Then you have a destabilization of society. So even the greatest cultures have fallen due to degeneracy and not understanding how humans actually interact cohesively, and all that weird shit isn't included. That's an off to the side. And because we live in a progressive society, we should be able to live with that off to the side, but they're trying to shove it down our throat like your bunkmate in a damn prison, if you get what I'm saying. And it's not acceptable. especially coming from people that are out there telling us how our country's gonna go under because they have tariffs, when in reality the beginning is gonna be rough because it has to adjust. All those companies that got rich off of exploiting the poor, impoverished countries that they moved their businesses to, so that every one of us could feel good about the clothes we buy and the different expendable items that we just put into a landfill because they don't last, because poor quality. They don't care. Hey, it's going to America. As a matter of fact, let's wipe our ass with that. And so when the baby's playing with a baby doll, he's got fecal material on it from some Muslim that was enslaved in China to make the toy. But you sleep good in your bed at night after you marched all day with your sign that says that all us conservatives, we don't care about anybody. If I didn't care, why would I even be speaking about these atrocities if I didn't understand? And that's part of the anger. So if you don't have a problem, if you're not angry, except that you didn't get your way, fuck you. I'm talking, listen. Freud wasn't wrong about everything. If you're in a crowded subway and someone yells, "Hey, faggot," but doesn't say a name, chances are the guys that identify as faggots are going to go, "Whoop, whoop." It's the whole thing. Like, people go, "Oh, he said something that violated my human rights." In Australia, if you say something that offends somebody, all of a sudden, it only offended you because somehow you identified with it, because all the other people that laughed, they were not laughing at themselves. They were laughing at you. And now you feel bad because he spoke a truth that only applied to you, but he didn't identify you individually. He didn't say, "Hey, Sonia, you know, you're a bitch." No, you proved you were a bitch by taking what that person said as being applied to you, because it's the truth of what you identify as. You want to own the N-word? Stop acting like it. Because every time someone says it, you go, "How dare you?" The ones that don't act that way don't fucking get offended. Women are like, "Oh, I can't believe you used the word cunt." And the same woman will describe a woman she hates that way the first time she describes them. Well, back to that. That's the other issue. If we're living in a society, like, we got all these stupid laws that come up, they call them hate crimes. Listen, I'll tell you what, if you beat on a couple women, period, that's hateful. You know, it's a hate crime. Every violent crime that is committed is in itself inherently a hate crime. I don't care what you say. They're like, "Wait, there's no motive." No, I hate to tell you, that motive is malicious and hateful if they have to hurt you to achieve it. Come on. Huh? You want to dissect it. Somebody finds out that you have a certain lifestyle that you want to live, and then they beat you up for it. Listen, they're wrong. You don't need an extra law. You need a law to be fucking enforced equally. Like, here's the deal. In the past, you would go to the police station to say, "You know, I got beat up." Some gay dude, right? "I got beat up because I'm gay." And as soon as the cop hears it, he's like, he probably grabbed the guy's junk or something and don't go. Now, let me tell you something. Even if the dude grabbed your junk, if you're a cop, you should be investigating that. And that's the issue. So all of a sudden we have to have a new law because we've got people that don't do shit the right way. No, bullshit. That's why we have so much redundancy in our country and nobody understands, because they're confused. Just like LGBTQ. Listen, you're gay. If you're a woman, that means you like women. If you're a man, that means you like men. And even some gay women occasionally sleep with men. And some gay men occasionally sleep with women. So then now you identify as bi too, right? And if while you're in the act, you pretend that you're the other sex, then of course you're trans in that moment. And then you could say that because you're so confused and you keep flip-flopping, that you're non-binary. You don't need all these extra words just to say you're gay. It's like all them words are all of a sudden like gonna justify it or make it more. You're gonna have more people on your side. That's just like when someone offends you in life, and then you go to your secret chat group on some social media that's got 100,000 bitches in it. And I'm not gonna call them Karens, because a bitch is a bitch. Karen is just a racist way to describe a white woman. And all you white people that use it, keep slobbing on the knob, you bunch of damn spring neck bowl smokers. But you figure you go, and a person that didn't experience your offense is gonna harass her, gonna go, oh my God, I can't believe that person said that around you. We're gonna get them. Next thing you know, they're calling your job and getting you fired. And on the other side of the story, the bitch that's in the chat telling the story started the whole fucking thing. It's just like when you get a video of a police interaction that starts after the dumbasses that started the shit are already getting arrested. So you don't get to see the body cam where they just spit and threw stuff on the officer's shoes and told him, screw you, you can't do nothing to me because I'm black. But you jump on their side, half the story, because that's all you people are, half of you half-baked assholes. That's why the threat of tariffs makes your sphincter get tight, because you won't be able to shop at Walmart. You get mad because you're not going to be able to get your taco fast enough at the convenience store, because they just arrested about 15 Mexicans that were working there, because the white folk and the black folk and all these other folk that are Americans and could be working would rather sit at home and keep voting for people that are stealing billions and trillions of dollars from us every year. And they're fighting tooth and nail to continue to do it. But you side with them because you're super geniuses. And eventually you're going to win us all over to your side. But your eyes aren't open because you aren't seeing that the more that your side shows themselves, the more people that don't identify as dumb as you do move to the other side. They're like, wait a second, I might not admit it out loud that I'm stupid, but all of a sudden they reach back and they got a red hat. They're like, yeah, Trump, man, because he actually gives a damn about America. And that's the facts. And they want to try to tell everyone that he doesn't, when every single action he does shows he does. You look at they're talking about the pardons that Trump gave, and on the very last day of his presidency, the scumbag in chief, the coke fiend that had how many brain aneurysms because he introduced his son to cocaine. Joe Robinette Biden doing cocaine with his son. That's whose cocaine they found in the White House, you bunch of morons. If you ever grew up around drugs and drug people and drug dealers, if you've ever seen someone that had snorted their nose away, literally, they snort their nose away. Stevie Nicks had snorted a hole in her septum in the 70s from doing so much coke. Now you look at Joe Biden's nostrils and you look, that's not plastic surgery. That's sniffing coke. Bill Clinton, he's got coke rolling down his tie. These people were doing lines together in the White House. The man had an aneurysm. The other one had open heart surgery. You people are morons. Your eyes are like, I don't care if you like them or not. See, that's how I reckon. Like, I'm looking at my family member going, yo, dude, you got all the telltale signs of a dying man. But not if you got all the best doctors in the world trying to pump shit in and keep you alive, giving you baby embryos and shit. Yeah, these people are out there, they're harvesting baby parts at these damn temples to Baal. Scraping unborn children and getting new converts at every session. You people out there fighting. Look, here you want to call yourself progressive. You know what's progressive? How about we stop killing? Yeah. Like, why can't we be like the vampires from Anne Rice? It's a vampire's not allowed to kill a vampire. We can extract whatever we need from this planet without killing each other. Why can't we get that? That would be real progress, right? And that starts in the womb. So now you have to adapt the behavior where you're not creating unwanted children with all kinds of degenerate behavior. Or at least if you are going to, you might want to use some kind of progressive item such as birth control so that you don't have to make a choice to actually kill someone. Because no matter what you say, if every single human being is like a snowflake, individual in itself and never going to be replicated again, that is someone. It's not something, because something can be replicated over and over and over again. Like you buy a plant, that's a plant, right? But that's a thing. You can have a whole bunch of rhododendrons. Now, granted, on a molecular level, on a genetic level, they're each a little bit individual, but as a species, that's how it shows up. People are not the same way. So let's just, if you want to say you're progressive, let's just stop the killing. And for me, the first progressive president we've ever had is a man that came out and said, I just want to see the killing stop. That's progress. My God, that's progress, right? And that's what progress is. So people, listen, man, if you don't like the tariffs, so what? You're stupid. You're stupid. Maybe you should save more money. See, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you've already overextended yourself. How you got any flex in your life? Oh my God, I can't help it because the rent's so high. Listen, find the lower rent. Keep on searching. You don't understand. No, have you ever really looked? Everybody's always got an excuse, but on the offside, there's always a lack of action. Here we have a country that has watched president after president after president be a figurehead, and the secret cabal of bureaucrats, and we know this now because their power lies in our money, and they were using billions of dollars to not only fund foreign bullshit, but to actually, they have all these people that are going out right now, that the CNBC, ABC, now it's already been exposed. These are paid actors. They have a script. They're literally out there acting like they're delivering the people's opinion, when the people's opinion is the people, the proletariat, the proletariat, the freaking, the fascists, the people that are secretly controlling everything. And guess what? They are so evil that, like, people are out there, they think Soros was pouring his money into financing overturning America, when Soros is so degenerate, and the people that he's bought in our political, the body politic of America, right? He bought them with our money. It turns out he made all these CFOs and all this bullshit, and our politicians literally funneled billions, if not trillions of dollars to George Soros. If that's not treason, if George Soros shouldn't be locked the fuck up, I don't know who should be. You got this douchebag over there on Kick talking trash about Senator Scott. You've got all these people talking trash about going on the streets and going after all these top echelon people that, are made their lives terrible. But people like George Soros can get, and his son can get the Congressional Medal of Freedom when they are the absolute antithesis to what that medal stands for. And so for all you guys, man, you can suck a monkey's ass if you still support that party. The fact that you ever supported it, in my opinion, that's why I have really very little respect for Democrats, period, no matter if they switch to this side or not. Because it took that much to get you over. That just means that you ain't frontline material, homeboy. You're not elbow to elbow shit. And you're definitely not behind my back shit, because at any breathe and any change in the wind and shit, you're gonna shoot me in the back. I don't ever trust you. So that makes you what? Cannon fodder. Because you got to run at the front. But are you ready? No, you're not. And I wouldn't depend on it anyway. So I'm going to end this video with that. You could take it any way you want. If you like tariffs, if you don't, I really don't give a shit. But go back to the very beginning if you want to get my basic opinion and observation about it. Because it can only help us. It can only force Americans to open up businesses here, which is going to mean jobs here. And it'll be jobs that are going to have, like, these people, you can't, I want to I hate this shit because I can go on a tangent into some quality shit. But here's the reality about getting people back to work. If you got healthy people out there, right? And I don't include mentally ill people healthy. I don't. So if we can find that these people are mentally ill, we should take them, we should segregate them, get them the best quality care, feed them, you know, make sure they have a bib when they eat their dinner so they don't get all messy and stinky. You know, make sure you use the wipes and make sure you use Desitin so they don't get diaper rash. But starvation is the mother of invention. Starvation is the impetus. Listen, if you're starving back, like think about it if you were living in the Neolithic period. Because when you're reduced to not having a fucking thing, you've always got these, and hopefully you got feet that work, right? And so if you do have those, then you qualify for the next thing. Get up off your ass. Use your brain. Figure out what to do with your hands so that you can get something to eat. Like even if it just means picking up a rock and throwing it straight enough to hit that little rabbit in the side of the head. And then maybe once you got tired of eating shit like that raw, you might invent fire. Then when you got tired of when you stepped your game up, then you made some spears. Now you're getting big game, you can't really carry it, so you invent the wheel. Right? So you got all these successive things happening, right, over one thing. Get up off your ass and go make yourself something to eat. And what do? We take that away from the human being. And why do you think these people in the ghetto, why do you think all these people act up the way they do? Because we're feeding them for free and they don't have to fight for it. And so they don't, you know, what you get for nothing is good for nothing. That's all there is to it. And so you don't appreciate what goes into making it and you only want more, but you're incapable of doing it for yourself. So all you can do is demand more. And so as long as they demand it and we give it, they don't have a reason to go out and get a job. Take that free fucking meal away. And yeah, I know you got people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's a thief. That's why she knows. Listen, when you have people that their first go-to argument is the motives that involve thievery, underhanded shit, that's how they think. Because when someone tells you how someone else thinks, they're actually telling you how they think because they can't read their mind. In their mind, they're going, how would that person think? Because if I was them, I would think this, because you're telling everyone how you think. So she comes out and says, well, you can't take that free money away from them because now they're going to go out and they're going to steal bread. No, from what I notice is they got free food at home and yet they're going into stores and stealing Yves Saint Laurent. They're stealing $10,000 shopping, what do they call them? Purses and shit. It's amazing. A purse is just a modern evolution of a shopping bag when you really think about it. The bitch went out, she needed to bring food home to her man. She had a shopping bag. Now it's a big ass, now it's just some fancy shit that holds a credit card so she can spend his money when he ain't around. What are you talking about? That's mine. I got a better job than my husband. Yeah, right. Fannie Willis can't even say that. She done messed around with a married man, right? She couldn't even have control in that relationship. She went ahead and got him higher paid than she was paid. And he was, and like, yeah, he was quite, that motherfucker never even tried a case. Never tried a case. Everything he was oh, well, we'll make a damn plea settlement with the damn prosecutor for this traffic violation. Next thing you know, he's got $750,000. The dude's going to Belize. He bringing Fat Fanny with him. Fondy, I don't care. Well, however you want to call her. Oh, God, dog. Oh, man. Oh, whoa. That's some rough shit. You know, they say a Brazilian butt lift has a peculiar odor to it. And when I look at her, she don't even have a Brazilian butt lift. And I swear you could tell just by looking at her that she's got a peculiar odor. Why do you think she had to get a man $750,000 for him to sleep with her? And then as soon as he was exposed, he was like, I got to get out of here. And she was like, nope, we're not letting you go quite yet. Bringing him back in the picture. Her daughter, listen, you know how outstanding that family is. Her father, an attorney, testified that he raised his daughter to do everything like a hood would do when it comes to managing money. Oh, yeah, we just put our money in a mattress. Oh, we don't get receipts for anything. Oh, I want to, listen, we need to audit this son of a bitch for the last 40 years. He came into a court of law and he said he raised his daughter to stick her money in the pillow. What'd she do? Tuck it in the pillow after she makes it? If you get what I'm saying, what is she, prostituting? Well, honey, the safest way to handle your money, as soon as he gives it to you and while you're biting that pillow and pretending to moan, you better tuck it in there. If anyone asks you why it feels so rough, just tell them they're just stiff down feathers in there and that you had extra special WAP one night. And the pillow never dried quite right. It's been a little stiff because you had a yeast infection at the time. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said it. Y'all motherfuckers. See, people think they Robert De Niro will never get an Academy Award from me. I'm a better actor than him. Like, I'm not angry about any of this shit. I think it's funny as hell because I'm smart. If I was to get angry every time I had to deal with some stupid shit, I get angry that I have to explain it. But Jesus, you know, that's how nasty that bitch is. She has some WAP. Like, someone said WAP. I said, what WAP? What's WAP? When they told me, I said, someone's singing about that? They're singing about that? Listen, I just throw a towel down and go to sleep. But I don't discuss it. You know, and here's how you know the kind of girl that you're messing with. If the next day she gets up while you're in the shower and takes the sheets off the bed to go wash them, she's a keeper. If you go out there and she's getting ready and she done made the bed over them sheets, you beat feet. And I tell you, beat feet straight to the damn community center and get a test. Yup, go ahead, man, because you might have to get your bore punched. Can you imagine? I don't even, you know, I'm sorry. Don't ever even try to imagine. Never, no. That's the shit you don't even have to imagine. You just put in the wrong search on your computer and you might see that shit by accident. Man. Oh my God, man, that just brought back a very bad memory from my stay in California when I was stationed at Camp Pendleton. There's this girl, boy, I kept seeing her at the E Club, man. She was on me, man. She would not leave me alone. And she had an older brother too. And I would see him there and he was this hip kid and he was like, yo, man, my sister, man, she really wants to hook up with you. Blah, blah, blah. And so I finally one day we were out and then I got into a brawl at the E Club. And to avoid the MPs, we went and hopped into my car real quick. And I said, well, what do you want to do now? And she said, whatever you want to do. Now, I said, all right, well, we're going to go to the hotel then. And we start driving up the Pacific Coast Highway looking for a hotel that had an open room. There wasn't one. And then finally we got all the way to San Diego to the hotel. I guess they called it the Hotel Circle or some shit. And finally I found a place and I could get a room there, but on a Lance Corporal's budget. I only had enough for the room. I had to go out to the car and ask the girl to give me the extra $10 deposit for the room key. 19 87. I'll never forget. At the time, this fingernail on that finger, I smashed it on the tank ramp. We were changing track pads, and I was trying to pop loose an end connector with a big breaker bar. And when that thing popped, the whole bar came down and it hit that finger, and blood just shot out of the end of that finger. And this is going to become relevant in a minute. Now, when I was growing up, I learned about foreplay as a young man, because it's kind of rough without foreplay. So I'm doing my little sneak and sniff, and I'm like, whoa. Now, I didn't know how bad it was until I was already into the well. And I'm gonna put it to you like this. If you don't think a man can fake an orgasm, you might be right. You might be. She might not have known I was faking. But boy, I just for the Marine Corps' sake, I would pound and pound and pound. And when she started making weird sounds, wiggling and popping and twitching, then I said, you know what? It's time for me to pretend I'm wiggling and popping and twitching too. And I bet she thought we were syncopated like lovers meant by God. But as soon as I was done, I hopped up out of that bed and I went straight into the shower, and I was like scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing, and she didn't, I don't know if she really noticed what I was doing, but I went into that shower and I was scrubbing, and I went back, I laid down, and I went right to sleep, clean as a whistle, on the dry side of the bed. Now, my fingernail, even though it was dead, it was still dangling there, attached to my finger. And no matter how hard I scrubbed, no matter what cleaning fluid I put on that sucker, whatever was wrong with that girl's pH balance, it stuck up under that fingernail and it would not go away. So finally I had to get a damn pair of vice grips and pull that fingernail like a child pulls his first loose tooth. I was like, wake up. So when I heard that song from what's her name with that WAP in it, I was like, come on now. Even the best of women got them off days. So why are you singing about that, man? Why? What is going on with our society that the music has degenerated? And then I turn the TV on, and Democrats are everywhere with blue hair, and they're fighting for this and fighting for that. They're fighting to have men run down the street with no underwear on and nothing but leather chaps and crap like that. You know, what they allowed to happen in California, it should never be allowed to happen. What they've done, how they expose children to things that they know, like these people are psychiatrists, and even though they're out of their minds, that just means that they're mad scientists, because they know from over 100 years of child development and study that sexuality is a post-prepubescent thing. It's something that comes when you actually get into your teenage years. Okay, when the man's testicles begin to drop and he stops sounding like a little girl on the telephone and things like that. Prior to that, you know, children are fairly androgynous, and so when you look at these people, that they automatically say that, like, oh, this child, it must have been born a girl even though it's in a boy's body. That's mental illness on the parent's sake, and any psychiatrist or psychologist that would agree with that, they should lose the right to talk to people in general, because they're not helping anyone. And so I'm going to end this video with that. You know, I'm one of those people, man. I've just lived a pretty interesting life, and I paid attention along the way, and I fucked up, and I've done things, you know, that I won't ever do again. And see, that's the thing. Like, if you're going to say that you're a progressive, if you're going to say you're a good person, if you're going to say you're this, if you're going to say you're that, if you're going to say you're a man of God and any of this stuff, you better well shaped be acting the way a man of God would act. And I would tell you that they had a pastor came out the other day, and he said that it doesn't matter what your denomination is, that if you are a Democrat, there's no way that you can claim to also be a Christian. And that's all there is to it. And when they come out and they say that exact statement, like you had Joy and you had that Sunny Hostin come out, and she said the exact opposite, because they say that they're compassionate and they care, but if they did, they would actually give themselves enough true understanding to understand what they think they understand. They don't. They really don't. And when you don't, if you really don't know what you're talking about, you should just shut the fuck up. And that's, you know, myself, I don't talk about things that I don't know anything about. Now, you might not agree with my conclusions, but that's fine. You know, I found that oftentimes given time and exposure to the proper circumstances, that more than likely your opinion's going to change, not mine. Because I got here 57 years later. And I might not be older than some, and I might be way older than many. But one thing is, I paid attention along the way. And just because someone's old and they're still alive does not mean that they're wise. And all you have to do is listen to what they say. And there's a lot of people out there that got gray hair like Bernie Sanders, and you give him credit and think he knows something. But how does he know anything when he's never even made a living? He's never had a job for much of his adult life. He lived in his parents' backyard basically in a shack. At one time, he was writing, you know, pornographic, fantastic fantasy love stories. You got a man who literally made the statement that most women have the fantasy of being raped or gangbanged. And yet you think he's a wise man. A man who's never made a living. He's never had to pay a bill. He's never, none of that. And yet all of a sudden he's very rich. And all you young people, because you didn't have a dad or you had a mom that was overbearing and domineering to the point that you want to be a woman now, because you think that women have power because your mother overpowered you psychologically your whole life. And then the woman's like, well, he always wanted to be a girl. Nah, you made him want to be a girl because you showed him that this world ain't made for men, because you done messed with him psychologically. You tore him down. You made him feel like less than, to the point where he only sees power in his mother. And if you ever look at it, this over sexuality is because they were raised by mothers who were whores. How you like me now? Boinkle. Damn, why won't it let me stop my blinking screen? What the hell? Hold on. This fuck. Boy, I know I can be ignorant. I'm gonna get off of here now, boy. Because I can't keep doing this. Because some of them poor kids got men involved. They're men who come from the exact environment that I'm describing. The only difference is they didn't choose to be girls, but they want to make their little boys into girls. It's really sad. And you're like, how do you know that? I'll bet you. I'll put money that 99% of the people involved in all that chicanery fit exactly what I described. You do a little research, you'd be like, oh my God, how did you know? Because I'm paying attention, man. You ever see them when they come out and they speak at these meetings in favor of it? If you can't see them and hear them for what they are, it's sad. And the children, you know, what's really sad is that they're the actual parents of the children. So it's like, how do you justify, you know, and it's easy, justify it because they're mutilating the children. They're mentally ill. If they were a schizophrenic, they wouldn't let them around their children if they weren't on medication and being supervised. And yet they let these people around their children because they're not diagnosed as being mentally ill, although all their actions show that they're mentally ill. Man. Oh my God, damn it. This phone is such a piece of bacon.